Good morning from California. Hi, I'm Michelle Wilson with the Mompreneur Conversation Show, and thank you for joining us for another Micro Moment Live. And I'm super excited to have my guest here, Laura Ibarra, who is a mompreneur, and she specializes in strategic design consultant, and who has also a double master's in has a double master's and business administration, correct?
Say,
And a doctorate. She's actually going for her doctorate. And so the reason why I have Lotta here is because she's been instrumental in my branding and marketing for Mompreneur Conversation Show. And she really understands our the value that we're bringing to the marketplace and really our mission and our vision. And I'm just so thankful to her team. And so, what is Mompreneur Micro Moments? We are going to, I'm so excited that the show is going to be launching, finally premiering in September, about the second week of September on Amazon Fire TV. So, stay tuned. We're definitely going to be giving you some information. And the show is really for moms who are raising special needs children who want to start a purpose-driven business. And so Micro Moments actually evolved out of the show is because on social media the past 3 months with the help of Lotta's team and Lotta, we've been, marketing, really getting the word out of what Mompreneur Conversation is all about. And it's really having a conversation with moms, as I said, who are raising special needs children. And I'm a mom who has a special needs son, and I really understand the challenges that we go through. I started a business about 13 years ago from my son's hospital room. Out of need, because as a single mom, I realized that I wanted to be there for my son, but I still had bills to pay. So I started a business, and really, I kind of did everything wrong. I hit burnt out so many times following the advice of, I had amazing mentors and coaches, but following the advice that wasn't really tailored to my needs, which was I already have a full time job as a caregiver. And so I had to learn how to balance caregiving and entrepreneurship. And so that's how Mompreneur Conversation Show was birthed. And, I'm just so thankful, as I said, with having Lotta here, because I'm able to bounce off my ideas about, just my journey and just the journey of other moms who are out there. And our goal is really to be able to, have a community of moms who are going through the same experiences, but still have dreams, aspirations, right? And so today's topic is about the art of reflection and adjustment. So first of all, I just want to welcome Lotta, and please, I love to hear your thoughts and comments before we get started with our topic this morning.
Thank you, Michelle. I always enjoy listening your story because it connects you. I mean, I can reflect in so many ways about what you just shared with us and about the topic. I mean, we were working on your social media, and every single time I work with Sophie on this, and we mentioned, oh, that was a very good tip. So we just recently create that video about the art of reflection and adjustments, and we are putting those tips in we are implementing those. So can you share a little bit more, or for those who has not seen that post, can you share what it's about?
Absolutely. So the post is really tailor made for moms who are raising special needs children, but really the tip is for, all moms out there. And really, today is the end of the month. And so I
Mhm.
have developed, I'm so thankful and grateful. About 13 years ago, I became part of a mastermind group. And one of the things that we learned in that mastermind group is called the language of achievement. And they're just really principles that I've learned about, achieving goals.
Mhm.
And then it was actually a mastermind group. And so one of the books that we actually studied was from John C. Maxwell, called How Successful People Think. And he talks about
Oh yeah.
reflection. But I
Mhm.
kind of tailor made it to the mom and moms who are raising children, because as I said earlier, we are juggling two full-time jobs, raising our family. And then when starting a business, our business is our baby. And so really at the end of the month, like for this year, like for August, right? I can't believe it's the end of August, but I like to take a time for reflection. And I really like to do it like a week before the end of the month so that I can prepare the month before the month begins. But really, when you're caregiving and you're starting and launching a business, the big thing is all about mastering your schedule, and but mastering your schedule with in mind that what are your core values are. And so I like to reflect at the end of the month. I like to set my goals at the beginning of the month, what I want to achieve for that month, and they're actually, we call them initiatives, but what I want to accomplish that month. So at the end of the month, I like to reflect. So that's what reflection is all about. You reflect on how your month went, and then you adjust accordingly for the next month. So for example, for me this month, I've been on this journey of launching the show.
Mhm.
However, I've been pre-recording the show for Mompreneur Conversation. And a couple of weeks ago here in California, we had like a hurricane alert. And then we had an earthquake. And then my son was rushed to the hospital. So I had to really do a lot of
Wow, that was
adjustments.
tough. Mhm.
A lot of
A lot
adjustments.
to deal with.
A lot to do with. And so with adjusting, I have to remember that it's okay to adjust my schedule, right? I'm a little bit off on my timing, but it's okay. So now I'm reflecting throughout the month of what I did accomplish, what I didn't get done, and how I can make those adjustments. But the important part is really I look at my son's needs first,
Mhm.
like all his doctor's appointments and therapies, everything that I know that we did in August, but what's going to be coming up for September, because that's the most important part is the caregiving. And then how do I build my business around that? So that's what really just taking time, maybe it might be an hour out of the month, right before before the month begins,
Okay.
to just reflect and then make adjustments as necessary to your schedule for the next month. So I hope that explains what
Yeah.
it's all
It,
about.
it gives me an idea because I love to take my agenda, right? So I have a system, and by the way, there is a book. Do you have it with you?
Yes. Oh, I
The
took it off
bullet
my desk.
journal?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
bullet
it's
journal.
over there. So I'm gonna pick that up. But it's a system that you can put first your month, and then you schedule in the future. So actually, you can start with the whole year, and then okay, maybe in September I'm gonna travel to Europe, wherever you want to do, right? So
Right.
in that allows you to plan ahead, which I believe is part of the reflection that you're mentioned. And by doing that, it's very important um, to select those days in which you notice, okay, today I don't have any appointment at all. That's what I do personally when I'm committed to run any meeting or with clients or family calls, wherever. It distract me about the creative process. So I need to schedule my time for design, time to be creative, right? So I have those days which I allow myself to perform as a creative. And then, okay, I have a full day of meetings. I need right away. I need to go to the bank, and I schedule those tasks to be done. But what I was missing, and you're mentioning, is that we want to reflect on what we did, because often we, or me personally, sometimes I feel like today I didn't accomplish anything, or I just moved like 1% on that project, and I feel like, oh my god, there's a lot of things that I need to do tomorrow. And then the tomorrow and the day after tomorrow becomes like very a huge impossible whale to tackle, right? So I think by doing the reflection, it allows you to break it in a little pieces, so you don't feel like overwhelmed or stressed or burnout at the end of the month. So how do you do that reflection? How do you pamper yourself or cheer yourself, like, hey, I did it? What is your process?
And you made a really good point. One of the things about reflection, the art of reflection, is actually celebrating the wins, no matter how small they are. Hey, you woke up in the morning, right? And
That's a win.
that's a big win. So I always say, that's key, because like you said, we always look at what we haven't done, what we haven't accomplished. So think about that, what celebrate yourself in the small wins. And I know we're both in the mastermind group that I just recently talked about earlier, and we're talking about atomic habits. So I'm even learning. from the book about atomic habits. It's all about getting 1% better, so I'm implementing that now into my daily routine of reflection and adjustments. But what I do is I call them mom blocks, right? So for me, as I was saying, I'm planning the month before the month begins.
Hmm.
And I've learned that concept through my mastermind group. And there's also another book that I like to recommend. It's called The Language of Achievement by David
Oh
Bird.
yeah,
And
that.
I learned those concepts is like, you really look at your whole year, what you want to accomplish, your goal, right? You have your
Mhm.
vision statement, your dreams. What is it that you want to achieve? And then you work backwards. what is it that I need to accomplish each month to achieve my big goal for the year? But that being said, I then, do a goal setting process, and I have like a goal setting worksheet. And I always want to be. I look at my challenges that I'm going to face. I want to be more proactive because I know that my son has needs, right? I know that my
Mhm.
family has needs. So I think about what are the obstacles that are going to may occur,
Yeah.
during that month. And then I have the solutions for them before. So I'm always proactive, not reactive. So when something happens, like I said a couple of weeks ago when I was rushed to the hospital, I already have a plan. I have these steps.
Mhm.
Like I know I will go into feeling guilty. Oh no, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do in my business. But because I'm already proactive with that, I go back into like meditation, and there's things that I do to help me really stay centered and focused. And also having everything written out helps me to stay focused. So when something does happen, I'm thrown off track a little bit. I can get back on track because I already have a plan. So for me, it's really master planning, setting those out, and then also just celebrating the wins. I know that I'm kind of a big, what is it, goal achiever type
Mhm.
person, and I'll have all these to-dos and to-dos and to-dos. But I learned that, it's okay that I've gotten at least one thing done, because as we know, it's called compound interest. It adds up in the end. So it's just really changing my mindset, and I'm changing it. Not saying changing, I'm shifting every day in my mindset, just to know that what I put out to do, that it's going to happen eventually, because I'm getting 1% better each day.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's super cool. And I wanna tell
Yes.
you this. So this is the book that me personally, um, in April when I started my by reading this book, I was able to put so many ideas into writing. And
Yes.
that's key because I don't know why I have this conflict about just thinking about it, but never write it down. So, of course, you're going to forget and then you cannot follow up. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing a contract with myself. If I write something, I need to accomplish that one. That's one of my theories why um, I cannot commit too much to write my agenda, right? But once you have that, it's an amazing experience or sensation when you cross that thing that, oh, I did it, I finished, right? So for me, that particular sensation is great. And one of the things that I love to do with my agenda, which is based on the this bullet journal method, is to include stickers because I love stickers. So every time I create a schedule and then I finish something that I feel that is a big win, so I just put a sticker on that. Like, yeah, I have my prize, right? I got my prize. Why? By
And I
doing
love
that.
that because our brain works in rewards. We love to, when we
Mhm.
reward ourselves, that just gives those happy endorphins. So I love how you actually are rewarding yourself. We're so used to rewarding other people's, but that goes back to in our mom block. I always like to say there's that self care, self love is really important. So for you, you identify that stickers make you happy.
Yeah,
So I
it
mean,
makes
and I
me
love that,
smile.
and I want to thank you for introducing me to the book and give me the book as a gift. I over the years, the past 13 years, I've become one of my goals was become a master planner because I'm juggling so many things at one time, and so I do use. I've explored and found a lot of different tools and resources, which is my purpose of the Mompreneur Conversation, so that I can bring these tools and share them. I don't think there's any one right tool. It's just the right tool for you. I use the
Yeah, it
language
is
of
a combination.
yeah, a combination. Because I use the language of achievement as my primary tool because I've been using that for 13 years. But I'm loving what I'm learning from the bullet journal. And one of the things that I learned from there, I love starting out, you have like these three columns, right? Like the
Mhm.
thing, because as I said, as moms are raising special needs, our to-do lists are so long that there's no way we can get through everything. So I loved how he says, just look in the three lists. And it's like all the things that you need to do and the things that you want to do and the things that you really have to do. And then
Mhm.
you kind of go and sort through that. So it's kind of just mind dumping first, I think, when it comes to planning, because there's so much that is going on. And because it's always in our head, it's amazing. I like how you said when you started writing it down, how it made a difference for you.
Yeah,
So
it's really a different feeling, and then I'm gonna start using that. I mean, today is a great day to go and see on my journey how I nailed some things. And also I remember in the book they mention about, then you can see the pattern, because maybe those tasks that you are not finishing is for a reason. So you're kind of recluded to finish those. So just be aware. What is the reason you're avoiding? Is it paying taxes? Is it cleaning your desktop, wherever? I mean, we have those tasks that we don't enjoy, but that's a good way to understand yourself and your process. And then by doing that, you will improve yourself as well.
absolutely. I do the same thing in my journal. I have my achievement journal, but there's things that I'm doing today. And then there's, if it doesn't get done, I carry it over tomorrow. And if I keep carrying it over the next day, the
Mhm.
next day, and the next day, then I have to reflect. There goes back to reflecting and then doing the adjustment. Is this something I really need to do to achieve what I need to do, right? To achieve my goals. And a
Mhm.
lot of times it's not, it's just a want to do, but not, I won't say have to do, but just a want to do. And if it doesn't get done, so I just take it off, and that just relieves me of that stress of not getting it done. So,
Yeah.
and I think all change, all growth begins with awareness. So when you start writing down, like you said, you started seeing your pattern, you were able to
Mhm.
adjust and change that pattern. So that's what reflection is really all about. So is there anything else you do at the end of the month? Because that's what this all about, reflection and adjustment, is starting looking at your month before you start the next month so that you can make those adjustments and just reflect. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us that you do?
Yeah, the personally, I just remember that like for example, my credit card, I need to pay them around the 30. So it's a time for me to plan ahead what are my economic goals, my financial goals.
Mhm.
So that's another part that sometimes I'm just go with the flow, and then I need to go back and see if I really sailed make if I made some sales, and if I get a new client. So that, no, with taking care of those numbers will allow you to grow your business. So just be mindful that you don't need to put everything in one day, so you have more. That's the only thing I
And it's
really
also about that
embracing.
conversation, because I think we also had a conversation. We were looking at our books kind of together, right? And
Mhm.
we were coming up with a plan for next month, right? Because as you said, we reflected on what we're doing, but what can we do, what we want to do in the future, and adopting. There's so many frameworks and so many tools out there, which sometimes can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
But it's really nice that, hey, just ask having support, just asking what other people are doing, I think is so effective. Hey, what are you doing to achieve this, or what are you doing to help you accomplish this? And that's why I know that for me, I call myself, I love exploring just new options and everything. I still have my basic foundational routines and habits, but I always love to add on to those to really, as you said, we talked about earlier, getting 1% better and being
Hmm.
able to grow, because that's really what it's all about, is just continuing to grow. I remember I had a mentor saying, if you're not growing, you're declining. So that has been one of my foundational, thoughts, that I always want to be a lifetime learner.
Grow.
And yeah,
Hmm.
and besides learning, applying, I think that's really important. And I think that's what's really amazing about you, Laura, is that you apply what you learn. I think it's phenomenal, because I know we've
Yeah,
had
and sometimes it helps, sometimes it don't, but
right.
you at least you're trying. So
Yeah, at least
that's
you did
good.
it. You tried it. If it didn't work, there's your adjustment, right? You just like,
Hmm.
okay, this didn't work for me, and it's okay. You're looking for what works for you, right? I mean, I think there's general principles and success and so forth, but how you get there is different for everyone. I think you would agree with that.
Definitely. So
Yeah.
thank you for having this time. Um, I think we are closing now. Do you
Yes,
want to share
our
something
micro
about?
moments are only 20 minutes, and wow, they go really fast. So,
Yeah.
the whole purpose of micro moments is just taking some of the content that we talk about on Mompreneur Conversations show, and to really on the combination. The show itself is where I really dive a little bit deeper and give, not only tips, but really go deeper into concepts and how to use it. So, I would love for people to actually join us on the live, but really, go to mompreneur conversations show.com, and you'll be able to get information on when the show is going to premiere. And as I said, it's on Amazon Fire TV. So with that, I want to thank you, Lotta, for joining us today again for this micro moment, Mompreneur Conversation micro moment. And normally our micro moments will be on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But because of the holiday and some schedule adjustments, and that's all about, one of the things I want to add is it's about flexibility. So we showed up today on Thursday, but we'll be back next Friday at 10 a.m. So with that, we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for
Thank you.
now.
Bye.